Today, I want to talk to you about a topic that can be very uncomfortable to talk about in church land. And I'm comfortable talking about all sorts of things, except money. Money is always really, really rough to talk about. And especially when we're talking about money in church, because there are uh, a lot of right wing people who claim Christianity on TV who are always asking for more money and always thinking they don't have enough and that they need people to send them more. And it's a type of exploitation. And the question gets asked legitimately, how is that different than the collection plate going around on a Sunday morning in church? The church has never been comfortable with asking for money, but the reality is we live in the world. Ministers like me, we still have to feed our family. We still have to buy clothes and put gas in the car and um, make sure our family is taken care of. We don't get away from any of that. We have to pay for the life. We have to pay taxes. I know there's an assumption that churches don't pay taxes, but the people do. We can't not ask for money. But how do we ask for money has always been a problem. If you've ever been into a church and wondered what the numbers are on the pews, that's because not that many generations ago, families used to pay for their pews. They'd be assigned pew 39, and pew 39 would have a financial value that the family would cough up for the church year, and they would pay that. And that is how churches made money. Other times it's been put in a pot in the back with no sense of obligation. I've been in churches where I haven't really had more than $5 myself before next payday, and the collection plate has come in front of me, and it's been really uncomfortable because I don't put anything in. I can't afford to. I've got other things that I have to be concerned with. And a lot of people are going to say, put it in first and those other needs are met. And, most times that's true. But the reality is, it's not always met. And a lot of people don't have enough from paycheck to paycheck. That's just the world we live in. So, how do we deal with money and talk about money and Christianity at the same time? So there's a passage that the grown-ups are looking at today where a rich man comes to Jesus and says, I'm doing everything right. I'm doing all the things the Pharisees and the Bible tell me to do. So what else do I have to do to get eternal life? And Jesus says, well, that's really simple. Just give up your wealth. And the young man leaves devastated because that's the one thing he is not prepared to do. He'll do just about anything else, but he won't do that. He's missing also the point. When Jesus asks people to give up their wealth, he's not asking people to give up everything. And that's often been misinterpreted in the church. You don't give from your lacking, you give from your abundance. You're supposed to take a look, make sure you're covered, make sure you have enough, and then care for someone else. And by enough, I mean enough, not enough plus buying a new car, enough plus a vacation, enough plus the sound system I've been looking at for a while. That's not the enough that Jesus was talking about. He's talking about the enough for the basics, that you're clothed, that you're housed, that you're fed. Those are the basics. There's a thing a number of years ago, I'm not sure if you've caught on to it at all, but there was a number of young people, primarily men, because it's safer for young single men in the world than it is for women, unfortunately. But there was this whole movement called the Buy Nothing movement. And there's after effects of that still going on today. But these young people, primarily men, would write all of these fantastic stories about how they lived an entire year without paying for anything. But the thing is, they might not have paid for anything, but someone else bought them clothes, and someone else put gas in the car or drove them places, and someone else bought them food. They were not living without money. They were living without paying. And there's a difference. Jesus is not asking us to live without. If you're in the northern climate, you can't live without a winter coat. You can't live without lighter clothes in the summertime. This is just climate expectations, and those who are forced to live without often die of exposure. We are not expected to give away those things. We're expected to give away more, the things that are way too much. That's why if you actually spend time at a church meeting, you'll discover that the really healthy churches, the good places to be, will spend a whole lot of time and money on how to educate children and how to do mission, and a lot less time on how to pay for church repairs, because they've already understood that money is to be spent for people. That's how you give away your wealth in the church. You spend it on the growth and development of others. So take some time, talk about that, and see where you are, and be the person who's brave enough to talk about money, because most people are not that brave.